Hello everybody and welcome to round 7 of the CHESSA Online Olympiad Selection Tournament section, the open section and as well as the under 20 section. So far in the open section, leading the tournament is Roland Besadenhout. This is still stuck on round 4. Let's see if they finally updated it. Still, holy corn holy, I'm not sure what the standings are already so far. But in the under 20 section, which is updating every time, Banele, Keith, and Kanya playing really well. Only Kanya with one loss so far, but Banele and Keith really dominating the section. And this round has actually started, so let's jump into the games. Supremacy Blitz playing against Matt Pon, and this is a big game. Supremacy Blitz has been playing really well so far, and Matt Pon as well. Not completely finding his rhythm, slipping a win there against Wasn't Easy, who is Mr. Grandmaster Kenny Solomon. And it looks like some of the games have started. Not everyone has started. Hakia, a lot of these players are still waiting before they start their games. In any case, so Steenkamp and Mr. Doogie have started. Steenkamp with a very two nights game, 4 nights game in the end, and just a very moderate approach. See what he can do to Mr. Doogie. Craig Willenberg, has he started so far? He is, and he's playing against Lupus Fullmen, and Craig very aggressive here with a quick F4, and could potentially be weak along this diagonal. Let's see what that amounts to. In the junior section, we have Banele and Keith definitely looking to win this tournament. Michael not in a pairing yet for round 7. Chess King Mark is now playing against, well, I'm not sure who he's playing against yet. And some of the games have started, some of them haven't. This round is taking a bit longer to start than the others. Some of the other rounds started slightly earlier than I expected them to. Okay, so let's start looking at the games that have started. For instance, Mr. Matt Pon and Supremacy Blitz. Matt Pon with a very low rapid rating over there, just because of a few unfortunate events. And Supremacy Blitz slipping from his 2300 LiChess rapid rating a bit. And Matt with a great knight here on b4. Supremacy Blitz shooting open the position. That's just traded down. Says, I don't want to see any f5 advancement. I'll give you the file, but I won't give you f5. So how to recapture. Sia's not playing yet. Who else is playing maybe? Holy Cornholio, Roland Besadenhout with the black pieces against Kenny Willenberg with the white pieces. Kenny has not been having a good day. As you can see there, his provisional rating is sitting on 1601. This man must be frustrated by now. Holy Cornholio running away with that huge rapid rating, 2295. Doogie Steenkamp, what has happened here? There's been a trade on e5. That's been recaptured with the knight. And now there's an imbalance. 4 pawns on the queen side versus 4 pawns on the king side. Steenkamp, our in-house endgame professional player. Our in-game mechanic when it comes to the endgame. He will fix your pawns and make sure that his engine is revving when he runs through with his own pawns. In the junior section, under 20 section, has anyone already started? There seems to be a delay. The games have not started yet in the junior section. Okay, let me keep us on. Wait a minute. Okay, this is interesting. So Matt took, but then there was a recapture with the g-pawn. Supremacy Blitz insisting on an f5 break, which he does play. And This is very aggressive from Supremacy. Maybe the best approach with Matt is to be as aggressive as can be. Don't give him momentum at all. Just go for the kill. And while we wait here, I'm just going to quickly ask if there's a reason why... could be that the round is postponed or something. Someone says the juniors are done for today. So I've misunderstood something. Was he? Could be that that the tournament is different since some players aren't playing. So we'll get the update now. But as far as I've got it, the pairings here show that round. Oh, that's good news for me. Round 7 starts tomorrow at 9 o'clock for the juniors. So the juniors are done for today. The adults are still playing round 7 and round 8 today. The adults. Okay, so no more need to spectate the juniors in that sense. So we have less games for this round. We'll just call it the open section round 7 then. And I suspect some of the rounds will overlap again tomorrow. And okay, let's just see. What day will they be done? They've got 13 rounds. So tomorrow the juniors, let me just add that to the screen, or else I'll just be annoying you guys without adding any information. Their final round is tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Oh, no, that's obviously a mistake. So at 3 o'clock, at 4 o'clock. So their final round's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And the adults, or the open section, have their final round tomorrow at 4 o'clock as well. And how does that work? They've got 15 rounds. The juniors have 13 rounds. The under-20s have 13 rounds. So 2 more extra rounds for the open section. And those are the rounds that we'll be playing now. Okay, great stuff. And really testing the stamina of the open section players. Just going to clear this up for myself. So after a day of playing Banele and Keith and Kanya, these guys are really dominating the under 20 section. More so Banele and Keith without any loss at all so far. Lupus Full Men, Craig Willenberg, they're playing Duji Steenkamp. Duji has managed, after the trade, to show Steenkamp that this knight has moved. Therefore, he can play f4. And the position is truly imbalanced. Quick opportunity here for Steenkamp to capture. Queen captures, knight captures, queen captures. Bishop, f6. After e6, though, it's a bit of a problem. You can't recapture because the queen will be hanging. Stuff that Steenkamp's looking at the moment, if I had to guess. Kenny Willenberg, Roland Poseidon. This game is also moving really quickly for a rapid game. G4, Kenny. Aggressive. Downside is that your king is slightly exposed. He says, never mind. That's fine by me. I'll go back for that pawn later. Queen takes G4. And now Roland is just saying, okay, well, I haven't committed my king yet, so your work on the king side might be in vain. I might just castle queenside. Play f6. Try and open the files for both my rooks. And definitely liking Roland's position here. Okay, that tab. Hakia is not in the game. Halper's not in the game. Masia is not playing. So some of the games have started, some of them haven't. Supremacy, Blitz, and a Nachi. That pawn. Supremacy also went for the more aggressive approach here. Decided to take with the G pawn earlier on. Sorry, we can go a bit further. And play to get the F5 move in. But when it's kind of theory, so that when your opponent attacks on the flank, you attack in the center. So Matt is playing very logical chess. His king is relatively safe. So after f takes, he went h takes. I think he doesn't want to allow any weakness on this side like this. He'd rather try and defend an f7 pawn. So very interesting. Bishop h6 could be an idea. And after trades, this pawn hangs though on d6. But if you can claim that you've got some advantage then, yeah. Juniors are done for today. That's very nice. Let's ask Marcia why he's not playing. I think there's a player that has withdrawn. I think that is the most logical conclusion. Marcia is supposed to play against this. We're looking at round 7 now. So he's supposed to be playing against Bramos, Jacob and Guni. Jacob and Guni is also supposed to. I don't know what's happening, but Guni's not online. Okay. Peaceful Warrior is also kind of AWOL. Blackjack Revolution. This is game over so quickly. Roland Poseidon just took this game home. And exactly as I suspected happened. I think Kenny is just done for the day. I think he's just tired. Queen took on g4. I think we left kind of over here. f6 was played immediately. And then castles. Rook g8. Knight g5, was it necessary? Queen's trapped, by the way. Trades. Bishop back, attacking the queen as well. I think he threw in a towel over here. No compensation, no counterplay. Queen's also dropping. You can go for this. But, rook takes f4. Both bishops. Oh, well, there's only one bishop then. Just looks too good for white. So Kenny's game is done very quickly. We still have Craig Willenberg, Lupus for men playing. Lupus for men, Craig Willenberg. I don't know who Lupus full men is. Who Lupus. Oh, and I apologize. My freaking face has been in the way the whole time. Sorry. And these are just kind of covered the H pawn. Maybe I prefer black here. Craig has got some ideas, but black. I like the feeling of this weak diagonal in white's camp. So after nudging this knight away, that's an interesting choice. Maybe there was an issue with f6 immediately, and it takes. So get the knight bishop out. This is the strong piece. It will help you coordinate along this diagonal. Diagonally. Do Luigi Steenkamp. Steenkamp, okay, so Steenkamp did take on e6, and he did take on d4, but he didn't go for the weak bishop f6 idea. He just went c6 here, and then b6. And I think one of his points is that the knight is kind of kept out, and there's really no maneuvering the knight even to get in. And he can defend this weird looking pawn for the time being. You don't really want to play c5. Just makes loads of holes in black's position. So d6 at the right time, and maybe then c5. So queen went back, rook a d8. Just paranoid about my daughter bundle. Can't commentate a big event when the daughter bundle runs out. Knight e2 now. Where's this knight heading? To f5? By the way, is bishop f6 now a possibility? e5? Captures, it's still not a possibility. Maybe Steenkamp will isolate this pawn of his. It's tricky business. Maybe f5 is the idea. There's lots of ideas here, structurally speaking. Some interesting choices to be made. But I think Steenkamp likes his position, generally speaking, because he's got the bishop for the knight, and in terms of pawn structure, I feel like he knows how to navigate this. So he can distract one of these pawns. He's got a possibility of making a pass pawn out of one of these. So it's not his best day of chess. I've seen him play amazing chess before. Usually when he plays against me, I'm usually just in awe. So okay, let's just close this tab. This is the Kenny Willenberg tab. He went down very quickly against Holy Cornholio, Roland Besaidenote. Did I close the right tab now? I did. Peaceful Warrior. Is he playing? Okay, so he finally is playing. Okay, Peaceful Warrior is playing against Kenny Solomon. Kenny going for a pawn. Says, give me the pawn. Give me the money. I don't know if Kenny can still really win the money. There's still a few rounds to go. Tomorrow there's 6 more, but 2 more for today. 7 more tomorrow or something like that. Kenny's setting up a pretty awkward position for himself as well. So it's a pawn. How does this work out for white? I think queen. So I think this is nearly possible for white. But queen a5 is a miraculous type of save, covering the square. Here someone's asking the right question. Who's Peaceful Warrior? So after we get a knight on b5, queen here, this check can just be met by queen takes. So you might need to trade first. But then rook takes, and then the check no longer attacks the rook. So Kenny knows this, I think. For the time being, something like knight b5 isn't working. Maybe if you can get castled. You need to cover the square. And in the meantime, e5 is also being hit. Interesting position for Peaceful Warrior to need to navigate. Interesting decision here. To be aggressive or to be passive. By the way, there's also this very nice theme in the position that, well, you don't actually need much more than a knight giving check to the king, because the bishop already cuts down. Oh, Peaceful Warrior. No, why didn't I realize that? Knight b5, pawn takes, knight takes, queen a5, stopping that check. Queen takes queen, rook takes, knight c7, checkmate. So this line is way more complicated than I Oh, okay. Let's go back. Let's just see if we can calculate this ourselves. This line is obviously way more complicated than I was expecting. Because checkmate is now involved, but there must be something else I'm missing. Knight b5, takes. Okay. Then queen. I don't know if queen a5 is the move here. It feels like. What else can you really do? You can give away a bishop. That also makes a flight square. Knight takes, and then bishop takes, and king takes. Yeah, and then rook takes. Kenny will be playing up a piece. So here's the flaw in the line, and Peaceful Warrior, I think, saw it. Knight, bishop here. But I think there's a different approach after bishop there. You can simply just take the bishop. Peaceful Warrior, knight b5. Putting my money on it, knight b5 would have been game over for Kenny Solomon yet again. Walking into some strange opening things. The position hasn't changed a lot, just h6 here, bishop h4. And now Kenny's got the opportunity to do something else about the position. But definitely, even in this position, knight b5, you should be spending your time on this. I think it works. I really think it works. Knight b5 instead of bishop h4 here. Let's see. Knight b5. Okay, in this line, maybe you can take the bishop and play against. But previously, I'm quite confident in that line. We'll go back and analyze it a bit later on when the game's over. But until then, I really think that would have been a devastatingly cool idea. I'm not buying stuff like bishop here immediately because you can just take the queen. So knight b5, pawn takes, knight takes. Let's go back again. Oh, this is just too cool to analyze. I'm addicted to it. Knight b5. Okay. What does black play? Bishop here. Then you simply got rook takes bishop even. Still threatening this check and this check. That must have been working. And now Kenny's gonna get something like this, I guess. You've got rook b3, bishop takes, rook takes, or maybe queen takes. Threatening the bit. Kenny might be going down in any case. Queen here, maybe. That's Kenny's idea. Okay, I'm speaking too quickly. There's still cool ideas here for white. There's so many cool ideas. And then just castle with check. Please do something like this. You need to do something like this now, or else what's the point of having this position? If you're not going to try this, there's another moment now. Check. King's only got one square. Castle with check. King goes there. Check again. King goes here. Check with the queen. This is mate, guys. Knight takes e6. I don't think you can take the knight. You need to do something else. Or I might just be really drunk at the moment and seeing stuff. Ja, Ansal. Bring für mich Whisky. Danke. It could also just be that this guy is really just a peaceful warrior. My hello, bye, danke,
I'm still busy, but I'll
She's still finishing up, but the analysis is becoming better as it's moving closer to my party.
Grand. I'm so happy. Sorry, your sister says hello and she loves you.
Love you.
Love you. See you now.
Okay. Yeah, this tournament is a long tournament. It's about I don't know how many hours, but 8 rounds today. That should be 8 hours of just commentating. So my idea is just to yay! He goes for it. Knight takes e6. There we go. There we go. There we go. Ah, beautiful. I think maybe, but the other problem is black can't even just castle now because the knight's cutting off the square. I could imagine castling, just leaving the knight hanging would be nice for black, but you can't even do that. So Kenny will have to try something else. If you can't sacrifice a piece against the Grandmaster once in your life, have you really lived? So I was just busy saying that this is a really long event to commentate. It's very fun, obviously, so I really want to do it, but I'll need some help by tomorrow, especially because my birthday tonight and be having some fun and drinking and stuff, so I'm going to be tired by tomorrow. So Anzal's going to be helping us with the next rounds tomorrow, but the final idea is actually just to post each round just as an hour video and premiere it so that everyone's watching it together as if the round's actually still happening. So I hope that will be fun, and it will also be like a weird deconstruction of these 2 days of myself in my life, trying to commentate a big event like this. That's such a nice move. What are you going to do about that knight? I guess queen takes is Kenny's best bet, but I think that's even fine for white. Queen takes, you can just go take another pawn. Knight takes g7 check. If queen takes, then you just take the bishop. So Peaceful Warrior is done with the piece. He now wants the pieces. Yeah, it's a shame. This event is huge. It's like I think this is probably the most prize money that's been in an event like this, and it's counting towards these players' actual rating. It's a different rating system than the LiChess rating system they're playing on now, but it will be counting for their national rating. Kenny, but honestly, I don't think you can play like Kenny just did and not expect something aggressive. Like there was that knight b5 moment, and this was the second moment. Fortunately, Peaceful Warrior heard me. Kenny, okay, he might defend this. I've been saying today that he is our Karyakinov defense, and we might be seeing a line like this. I highly doubt Kenny will play takes, allow bishop check, king moves, castles, because I think this is a forced mate. King moves. Where's the bishop now? Okay, another check. King goes here. This check, and that's all she wrote. So king will have to step back. So if it takes bishop check, king here, castles, king will need to step back. No, you can't step back. Wait, castles check, king g7. Sorry, takes check, king f7, castles, king g7, check. King can't go to h7. King needs to step back, and I guess you're just having loads of fun with the king over there. You can take on e6 check. Force the king back to e8, and then you can repeat the line, but this time check, king goes back. There's not a pawn on e6. Give bishop h5 check. This was also the other thing I was thinking maybe he'd go for, but this is all fine. I mean, you can even go take rook takes b4 now. You've got this check. This just seems so nice for white. I mean, okay, maybe b5. Okay, let's give b5 a chance. Maybe it's a good idea for white just to let everything hang for the time being. I mean, you're being attacked here on e6, you're being attacked on h4, you're being attacked on c3. But usually in these types of positions, your strongest move is not to defend any of these pieces, giving your opponent some kind of idea, but to simply just castle and try and bring in another piece to the game. So another point I think that which is really important in this game is those three pieces over here. Kenny has not touched them during the game. They've been idly waiting by while actually just consider this. Every one of white's pieces is kind of active. Except this rook, but it's so close to being active. It's bound to work. So instead of defending one of the pieces, just bring another one into the attack. Claim that, okay, well, you can lose a piece or two, it's fine. And either way, capturing one of the pieces will be more devastating for you. I think rook f1 to be most precise in the position. Okay, let's see if we get rook f1. Because f takes doesn't look good in any line. I don't think f takes is good news for black. And taking the bishop is okay, I guess. But yet again, you've allowed a rook into the game and you've only taken this bishop away. But I'll probably need a concrete line to prove the point. So rook f1, g takes h, and bishop h5. Oh, that doesn't work. Queen takes check. This is really just another crazy game. If Nguni and Matt Pond's game doesn't feature as the game of the event, I'm going to put my money on this game. Serious stuff happening over here. A beautiful knight takes e6. The follow-up isn't too clear, but just the fact that he played it makes me so happy. I mean, you've got to be happy when someone sacrifices a minor piece against the Grandmaster and the Grandmaster doesn't capture it. So he knows there's something behind this sacrifice. Wow. Yo. I'm trying to. This game is so tricky to analyze. I'm glad I'm not playing. Whoa, there's more to consider. There's actually maybe a point to be made for castling as an alternative to rook f1. Castling gets your king out of the spin, so there's potential to play stuff without having to worry about queen takes trades with check and maybe to try and attack with minor pieces. So castling has got the benefit of there's only one check the queen can really give, and that can be met by bishop f2. And you can always try and recapture, I mean that comes with tempo, so you can always then move the knight away. So castling takes. Now you don't have bishop f2 anymore though. But now you need to prove your point that your rook on f1 can try and mate. Peaceful warrior, I would be so glad for his sake if he spends the next 5 minutes just calculating the next move. Because honestly, I don't think the rest of the game matters. It's only this position that matters. There's got to be something here. And feeling the time pressure now already, that shouldn't be worrying you. You need to find the knockout blow. We saw in the previous game as well, Kenny, if you don't find the knockout blow, as what happened with Matt Pon, who had this really aggressive game against him, Kenny's just going to continue fighting back, and then the game's just going to slip out of your fingers. It's in this position right now that you need to find something really great. The rest of the game probably doesn't matter too much. It's really just about the next move. Okay, so let's try and see if we can do as much. Okay, so I'm not too convinced by through castling. I think there was something that bothered me after. If g takes, are we going to be all mad and go? Thing is, you're not. He castles. Okay, now. Okay, he castles. Not sure if castling was the move. I think rook f1 was the move. But there's a nuanced difference between the two. The one allows checks along this diagonal, and the other allows this queen to be captured. And by the way, now I'm just getting disconnected again. What is this even? Come on. That's really just, this is just impossible. How? This is just so frustrating. Oh yeah, I'm reconnected again. Yeah, I usually just need to swear at the thing a few times and then I get reconnected. Okay. Kenny, the move I'm most scared of as white is probably g takes, forcing me to claim that I've got more in this game. Maybe it's more simple. If G takes something quiet like Queen F4, just threatening mate in 1. Knight takes, giving a piece back. There's loads of checks and stuff happening. Maybe it's not that difficult to calculate even. Maybe just go by instinct. G takes Queen F4 could be the move. Yo, but can the king possibly find safety after taking another piece? Queen check. Oh. Then rook takes maybe. Queen takes, knight. Threatening mate there, knight there. This is very, very intricate. And another good sign that it's becoming more intricate is that more players are joining the spectator room. So people know that this is where the fun is at in round 7. They've played 7 games so far today, and as you know, that's quite a lot of games. I think it's nice for Peaceful Warrior to have made the move castling. In terms of that, he doesn't need to worry himself now that he's got to find the winning move. It just seems typical Kenny. Takes the knight. Lying bishop h5 says his king is kind of safe after some kind of another sacrifice. He wants you to sack all your pieces and then fail in your attack. But I'm rooting for Peaceful Warrior here. Don't be peaceful. He goes bishop h5 immediately. Oh my. No, this guy's got to be sure. This guy's got to be sure. He can't go bishop takes g5 check. That's just giving so much material to Kenny. You know what? Oh, yeah. You need another bishop kind of to recapture on this square, so that after king goes here, you've got rook takes, queen takes, and then this check, picking up the queen with discovery. This is just a darn difficult position. And you know what? I guess it's loads better for white, but the winning move is just going to be so tricky to find. I don't know about bishop h5. Bishop h5. You'd really like queen f4. That's why Kenny took the knight instead, keeping this g5 tension. But maybe here bishop takes g5 was slightly better, just to keep the king out of slipping away this side. Bishop takes g5, threatening bishop h5 checkmate. So that's why I wasn't too sure whether bishop h5 was so great. So in this position, bishop takes g5, queen takes, king is being cut off, and bishop h5 is a phenomenally big threat. The king, I mean, he's okay, so after that, and let's say, maybe, bishop takes, bishop e7 could be the problem. But you can also start the line, maybe then by rook takes, queen takes, giving so much away, but if bishop h5 works, it works. No, I don't think it works. Oh, bishop h5, oh my word. This player's going to play down a piece now. Because he kind of somehow tapped into my conscience thinking that he needs to sack a piece. The knockout blow just seems so tricky. So tricky. Ooh, let's find some resources. Things you don't consider usually. Rook f4. Hitting the queen. The pawn can't take because of the spin, and the queen takes just queen takes. Rook takes b4 is maybe an idea to get this rook in. But even then, what's your follow-up? You're giving away even more material. This is so frustrating. I want to put the engine on and just see the knockout blow. But it could be that the moment is gone now. The moment's gone and Kenny's going to be playing up a piece. He's going to just play knight f6. And that's a good game. I don't think there's much more to be done. Maybe a6, try to force something and then try to make something out of this bishop. But you need to renew a lot of your threats. And while loads of your threats were coming naturally, now you've just played one passive move. You've given black a tempo to play with. Bishop f2. Knight c6 I think is just going to be blitzed out. I don't think there's going to be waiting about. Okay. Why am I saying he's going to be blitzed out if he's not blitzing it out? That's just poor commentary. But I would be blitzing out knight c6. I'd be blitzing out knight c6 immediately as black. Kenny, is he afraid of anything here? White just covered one of his rooks. Is Kenny honestly considering rook f8? Trying to get some trades into the position. I don't know. It seems like something calculated, something deep and tricky he would try and calculate now. And if it works, it works, and he goes to the endgame and he wins. I don't know, rook f8. Fortunately for you, your bishop's covering it. That's the main point. So something like bishop check and queen takes, rook takes, bishop takes. The queen goes away, queen drops. So maybe he's not calculating rook f8. He's got some other options too, but I'm thinking knight c6 is just such a natural move to make. You haven't touched that side of the board. Unless Kenny is thinking to himself, well, yeah, knight c6. Unless he was thinking to himself, no, he can beat any player without touching his queen side. He just needs a few pieces, and that's his life goal. Okay, so a6, a3, definitely expected a3. And here goes Kenny, getting in some trades, going into an endgame where he's just going to be up a piece, and Peaceful Warrior is going to be devastated because it just feels like that attack was so beautiful, and now it's just evaporated. You've given away a piece, and now you're just down a piece, and your compensation is very, very little. That blacking is safe. You were going to attack him on the dark squares. I think bishop h5 check. If I had to put my money on something that went wrong, there's something else a few moments ago that needed to happen instead of bishop h5 check. So king h1. Is this the idea? Get the knight here. I'm still rooting for Peaceful Warrior. I want the sack to have worked. Masia's not playing. I've missed a few messages, so I don't even know if he responded to... Yeah. Oh, very interesting. Wait, where am I now? That was weird. I went to a different channel and different... and Archie went down. Wait, Supremacy Blitz went down. Need to make the high pitch again. Supremacy Blitz losing against Matt Pon. And Matt... we actually should have been watching this game as well more often, but I'm so excited by the fact that the Peaceful Warrior has decided to break peace and just full-on attack a GM. Okay, so Matt Pon converted this endgame. That sly, shady player, how did he do that? The advantage is probably just minimal over here. That's a one-pawn advantage and not a lot of minor pieces. It's literally just the one-pawn advantage. So... it's not a real endgame advantage. Here it just sank to 0. That guy is... he converted this? But you only need to give away the knight for the pawn, and then it's a draw? How did White end up not doing that? I think it's a one-move blunder. Oh... oh... The move to have found was knight g6. Maybe that's not too easy. Well, one of the points is knight g6, pawn, and then just check. King needs to move and you can take away. Still just a draw, but... it's a one-move blunder. Matt Pon ended up making a queen. And that's all she wrote. Very lucky for him over there to get that win in. We'll evaluate that in a second. By the way, Steenkamp went down again, so this is really not his day. Really, really not his day. The position was fine here. c5 stopping any d5 activity, and Steenkamp went for d5 in any case. Tried a kingside attack. It lost the exchange. Oh. Queen f3 is probably very strong, just because it's costing you the exchange. So maybe queen takes f5 was stronger, just to keep queens on the board. And if g4, then, well, what's the computer finding over here? That's very nice. Rook takes g3, h3 check just because, and then queen e6. And apparently you're doing better because you've got queens around. But in Steenkamp's line, he got rid of the queens, and after g4, rook takes e5. He ended up losing this endgame. He had enough, I think. Minus. Well, this is +2, so it's -2 against him. It's not his day. Not a position he was hoping for. Doogie getting a nice win over there. Craig Willenberg and Lupus Fullman, they made an interesting draw. I think I won't go through the whole game because I want to get back to the Mr. Peaceful Warrior, and that's where they made a draw. I think if king moves, this discovery is just too much, and you don't want to move as white. So cool game. So we're just actually waiting for Mr. Peaceful Warrior to resign. Oh my word! And that happened so quickly. I was recapping some of the other games, and this game is just over now. Bishop here, bishop takes queen, and rook f8. Trying to get a trade in, and rook f2. Peaceful Warrior throws in the towel. Down a piece, he's not going to save this anymore. And here goes that beautiful button I wanted to press. Let's go back a bit. We were very happy with Mr. Peaceful Warrior's sacrifice. And first of all, okay, so before this position came about, I think bishop e2 was played here by white. I was convinced that one of these knight b5 moves were working. A takes b5, but apparently I was very wrong. The move that I did not see, I was calculating queen a5, was queen c5. Just holding on to everything, not getting even a queen trades in. But let's just give myself the benefit of the doubt and say he went queen c5. We'll be picking up a queen, and if he takes the queen, we'll be mating him. So let's just... okay, so knight b5, not a good idea. I was looking at other lines. Just missed bishop... ja, kom aan. Just missed queen c5. And then knight takes e6 should have been played. G5, and now what's the move here? Rook takes b4. And the internet is disconnected. Let's just reconnect. And Zal will be joining me for the last round.
Hello.
Let's move up a bit.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Whoa! I just caught the mic. Is everything still working? Let's just hear. Is everything...
Hello?
Yeah.
Is it still working?
I wonder what that's going to sound like.
I don't know.
Okay, so Mr. Peaceful Warrior. Let's just see, we are connected again. Mr. Peaceful Warrior had... he sacrificed a knight. Wait. What was this? No. Okay, he sacrificed a knight over here. Knight takes e6. And one of the points was that if f takes, then bishop check. And the king needs to move and you just castle with check.
Oh, great.
And I was looking at this one line where king g8, bishop check, and if the king wants to run to h7, you mate him like this, queen d3 check, and mate. So that knight is really poisonous. But your advantage is a lot, because king needs to go here and give bishop f7 check, king needs to go back, and then you just windmill attack. So one of the points is that king can go to e8, but you're pretty much forcing him to all of these squares. But so then our Peaceful Warrior decided to wait. He lost this game after this beautiful sacrifice. It was very sad, and he castled immediately here. The move was rook takes b4. I couldn't find it. He spent how much time here? 10 minutes. He spent 5 minutes on this move. And my point was that he really needs to spend his time on this move and find the right move. I was also thinking castles was the right move, but
it was
apparently rook takes b4 and that would have been game over.
Damn.
Lights out. Queen takes b4 and then knight c7 check. King can go to... What happens to king d8? Bishop G3. What?
I don't know.
Computer's playing like a computer. Bishop G3. And then, this is just such a tricky... I was saying the Kenny Solomon is lucky because like this is bad for a GM to get a position like this, but if your opponent can't find the knockout blow, then you end up being up a piece. So that's how you won this game. And that also concludes round 7. We're starting round 8 in 5 minutes.
So I could have waited.
Yeah.
Oh, Sherbert.
But you'll be with us for round 8 now.
Okay.
And that will be showing tomorrow night, technically.
I can understand.
So join us tomorrow night then for round 8.
With me!
Yay! And more whiskey than in the previous rounds. Okay, cool.